What is up, folks at home? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to talk about fishing hard spots and rock veins in the pre-spawn for bass. We're going to talk about some of my favorite baits to do this, and we're going to talk about how you can catch more bass in the pre-spawn. Let's dive in. Folks, in the pre-spawn, bass tend to sit belly down on hard spots. Hard spots, we're talking about rock veins, literally chunk rock boulders, pebbles, pea gravel, whatever is in your lake, pond, river, stream. Hard structure holds heat. Also, they tend to get lockjaw a lot of the year on different baits that they've seen. So today we're going to talk about baits that you can use to catch these fish off these hard spots and where to find them.
On the bottom, that's probably a 3.5 or a 4 pounder, guys. In this little pond, that's about as big as they get. He's not 4, but oh, he's all chewed up and nasty.
First up here, we have the G-Crack floating Elastomer Bellows gill in 3.8. This one's AJ's Magic, and the beauty of this bait is the Bellows gill simply gets bit, and it is a perfect profile and shape for bluegill up in the shallows. I'm throwing it on the Upgrade Jig by Ebb N Flow. This is the 1/4 ounce jig head, and you can see the elastomer material stands up straight on the bottom. The Upgrade Jig head was designed to stand up straight on the bottom and hold that bait on there. The cool thing about this bait is it generates bites. For whatever reason, if you guys watch the channel, you know that the G-Crack baits have become very key to my fishing. They generate bites, and not a lot of guys throw them. They are a perfect shad bluegill profile, and for whatever reason, bass will annihilate this bait on sight. Now, spots that I'm throwing them up against seawalls, you tend to get fallout rock like this, or riprap rock that holds heat and holds fish. Those fish will belly up in this rock and hang out there when the water is cold, but they want to be up shallow, right? Plus you get crayfish when the water's in the 50s that rummage around in these. You get bluegill, you get young of the year shad balled up against these seawalls up under docks, different things. So this Bellows gill in the Elastomer, which is new, is a great thing to throw here. It's like an oversized Ned rig. It's going to get a lot of bites, but it's also going to get the right bites. The Upgrade Jig head keeps this bait pinned. You can catch 30, 40, 50 bass on it, no problem, and it will still be there. This is like a Z-Man bait, except it's that G-Crack Bellows gill style, and it's been a real producer for me. I'm super excited about being able to throw this bait at the right time of year to really generate those bites. But you can see sand spots, rock spots. This is a beautiful bait to throw in those areas simply because it stands up on bottom, it generates bites, and it's clean. Up next, we're still throwing that 1/4 ounce Upgrade Jig head, and we're throwing a Z-Man 3.3 inch Mulletron, and I fish this bait like it is a Ned rig. It comes through everything, and the beauty of this bait, you can swim it when it gets in trouble. Other Ned rigs don't swim as well. This bait is going to stand up on the bottom. It's going to come through any type of cover, up against those seawalls, up against those other things, but the Mulletron literally functions as a Ned rig on the bottom or as a swim bait up in the column. You can see over these concrete posts and different things I'm finding in this channel, this bait comes through it all super clean. The other place that I'm going to throw this bait is when I'm finding smallmouth on deep rock veins. Smallmouth and walleye that are on the bottom that want a bait presented on the bottom. If you fish St. Clair, if you fished Erie, you know that dragging a single swim bait on the bottom really slow can get you a lot of bites. The way that the Upgrade Jig head stands up, this Mulletron is going to be a real game changer for those folks out there. And the cool thing about this is it's got that vortex tail on it that functions almost like a mini Huddleston. If you know anything about bass fishing in the swim bait game, the Huddleston is the immaculate bait in cold water, especially dragging. So you can drag this strips through those areas, kind of tickle wind it through all of this rock in different areas, deep to shallow, and you're gonna catch fish. This is an exquisite combination right here to throw on rocks, simply because the jig head does not get caught up in the rock, and the swim bait functions as a Ned rig and as a swim bait. Both things. You know we love versatile baits here on the channel. This is one of the most versatile presentations that you can throw, especially in the cold water. One thing that I will say about the Upgrade Jig head, it was designed to rig Elastomer style, Z-Man style baits. It can be challenging to rig, but once you get it rigged, it's not going to come off. So you want to measure that bait, and you want to make sure that when you are rigging dead middle here, and the Elastomer baits kind of push back against that hook. So what you want to do is really find that exit first, and then you're going to push it forward, and then you want to really work on snapping that bait forward, as I'm doing here, over those ridges. And what it's going to do is then you pull it back on to seat that bait on the hook, and it's not going anywhere. As you can see, it is locked on there. This ends up saving you money in the long run because you're going to go through less baits. More money in your pocket is a better thing, especially now. Next up is a bait that I haven't let out of the bag for a long time. Sometimes you got to go to baits that just aren't there anymore. This is an XBS Goby walleye bait, and I love it because it has a flat spade tail on it. It doesn't give too much action, but it gives a great profile. Sometimes fish don't want to come off the bottom to eat it. The Upgrade Jig head locks it on there and does a good job of keeping this bait up to slow fall, but it looks like a goby. And sometimes profile matters a lot, especially in cold water. So this bait is one I go to when the fish are in a real neutral mood, or if I'm on a Great Lakes body of water. That goby profile cannot be overstated. I used to fish this bait a lot more before we got the dark sleeper style baits, but with so many people fishing those now, this is a good one to bring back out. I've got 7 or 8 packages that I bought up when these baits were first out. You can find them now in bargain bins and stuff like that, but it is a good profile, and when they are hitting that goby profile, it is very hard to beat. Last but certainly not least, you have the Zoom finesse worm, and literally the Zoom finesse worm is a killer. I fish it all the time in all different kinds of water, clarities, positions, whatever you want to say. It's the straight up fish catcher. I like fishing this worm because it's simply different than a stand-up Ned worm. It's got a little bit more action, but it's not overpowering. I have caught a lot of fish when they are belly down in a neutral position on hard spots on that finesse worm, dragging it through there, and the Upgrade gives it that ultimate stand-up action in there. It's just a bait that I have a lot of confidence in throwing, and one that should be in every angler's toolbox. If you haven't fished a Zoom finesse worm, you probably live under a rock, but it is a great bait in a lot of different situations. Great.
Guys, hope you got something out of today's video. Baits like the G-Crack, Elastomer, Bellows, Gill are really going to stand out at this time. Your Z-Man baits, your baits that stand up in that orientation, jig heads that help them stand up, like that Ebb N Flow Upgrade Jig, are really going to make a difference. You want to find those hard transition areas, those rock veins, those areas by seawalls with a bunch of rock, and you really want to exploit those this time of year to catch more bass. If you guys like what's going on the channel right now, give us a like, subscribe, let us know how we can help you. We'll see you out there next time.